Tabitha,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm good. Thank
Karibu
you.
sana.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much. Thank you. Thank
We
you.
have been trying to get her for a while, guys.
I'm here now.
Welcome, Tabitha.
Thank you.
Tabitha is a senior community manager at AltSchool, and today we're going to dive deeper into what community management is for you who's looking for a non-technical role in tech, and most importantly, to understand her journey up until where she is now. So, Tabitha, we like to start from the very beginning.
Okay.
What kind of child were you growing up?
I don't know if we have a name for it, but I was the good kid, focused, works hard in school, the good grades, no drama, just me and my books. Yes, I was the excellent kid.
Hey.
Yes.
What did you want to do? What do you want to do when you grow up? When you're a kid?
I would say I want to be an engineer. Right. I mean, because, when you're young and your parents want you to be a doctor or an engineer. So I was like, I don't want to be a doctor. Right. So engineer. I remember when I was in high school, my books, my title, Engineer Tabitha Kavyu. And then I was wondering what type of engineering, But then when I got to uni and I did computer science, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, software engineer maybe, And then along the lines, things changed, so yeah.
Tell us the story of what led you into computer science.
So computer science, when I was in primary school, I had this friend of mine, Henry, we just would have conversations. Oh, what are you going to do when you go to campus and things like that? And I didn't know, like most of the time, like I'm just a child, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. And then he said, oh, I think I was doing computer studies in high school, but even in primary school, at some point, I know I went to do like computer packages and things like that. And so I just remember we had a conversation and he said, oh, there's something called computer science, just dealing with software, computers. And I was like, okay, because you're interested in it, I'm also going to take that up. I'm like, okay, let's do it. We're going to be computer scientists, And so that's it. I feel like he helped me just decide. I didn't know. I wasn't that exposed, so I didn't know. And I feel like he was exposed. I'm like, okay, I trust your judgment here. So it became easier when I went to high school. I took computer studies instead of as an elective, right? And then when going to the university, computer science, okay, oh, this is it. This is what you're talking about. I'm like, okay, so I chose it. I know, like, at some point, my mom would ask me to choose medicine, but as fate would have it, I was called to do computer science. I ended up having it as my third choice, but that's what I was called to do. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is a journey I'm supposed to take.
And in the high school, Gani?
Mudale Girls. Yes, it's in Kitui. Yeah, parents, you cannot learn in the city. Yeah, and Shago. So yeah,
it means you performed very well then.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I told you I was.
Yeah,
I was trying. I was trying. I mean, I got an A. Was it an A or an A minus? I don't know, 390. I was disappointed. I'm like, oh my God, I'm 400 material, But I was like, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
All right. So high school, you perform well. Go do computer science.
Yes.
At UN.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Take us through your journey through computer science. Did you like it? What did you like most? What were you learning?
My journey. So I think while I was in it, that's when I realized that, oh, okay, this is not really a field that is, many people don't want to take up. And I would see it even in our class, we had more men than the ladies or women. And I love challenges. And because of that particular time when I was in primary school and we said you're going to do computer science, and I told myself I may not know what this thing is about, but I feel like I have what it takes. Again, excellent kid. So I'm like, I feel like I can still figure it out, So I got here, so I'll figure it out at the end of the day, right? It might be hard, it might be difficult, but so I just went on with that mentality of you figure things out, you will learn. At the end of the day, all you need to do is actually learn, put in the work, and you're good to go. So it wasn't hard, and I think the most interesting thing about my time in the university was just getting involved in the community. I think that's where the dots now starts, connecting, right? Because when I was in my first year, nothing much was going on, and I wasn't even learning the things I was expecting to learn. Like I was doing physics, I was doing discrete math, and I'm like, we thought you were going to learn, computers, things like that, software. And so there was a lot of free time, and I think I was just telling you before, I don't like sitting down and not doing anything. So I remember another friend of mine also, Mercy, she was leading Women Tech Makers. So she called us, we have an event here at the University of Nairobi. So Wednesdays, we never had classes on Wednesday. It was just time for community clubs and sessions, right? So I went in. I remember I saw a lady from Google, and I was like, I actually never thought like Google is like a company, people work there. I just thought it's a search, and things like that, right? So I started just going for this event, and then Mercy at some point, even with back then it was called the Developer Students Club. I thought it was a university thing. Well, then I learned that, this is like a Google program, like Google communities in different universities across Africa. So it's like a year thing. They select leaders every year. And, you just get to organize people in your campus to do events around Google technologies, right? So I remember they told me, Tabi, you can apply. And I'm like, I'm just a second year student. Like, what do I don't know. I'm not that technical yet. I don't have the technical depth. I said, no, the most important thing is that we've seen you actually have the passion for community. You just want to help. But because I didn't know most of the things that were happening in those sessions. I mean, I was just a first year, second year student, right? And so what I did, I just made sure I was volunteering in any way, let me get the names, right, of people, RSVPs, moving around, getting the mics. I just wanted to do things because I don't understand. So back then I remember like there's a session on Git. I didn't know what Git was because we were not learning this thing in class, right? And that's why I really appreciate the fact that I was exposed to communities as early as possible, because I now came to realize that, some of these things you're not going to learn them in class, like they're going to give you a lot of theory work and maybe some practical work. We did PhD, we did C, right? But then the more you interact with people in the community, you see things like, this is where you can learn HTML, CSS, React, JavaScript and things like that. And I'm like, okay. And things like Git, because back then, I didn't know, like when I was starting out. So from the on stage, I just, because one thing I always tell myself is to show up, show up for things that actually matter to you. So for me, even if I don't know something, I'm going to be there. I can contribute, my skills or my knowledge in any particular way. So when I was starting, I just wanted to help out, and I realized that I actually enjoyed it, So I may not be understanding what they are teaching, right? But at least I'm helping out in a way, right? But so the more you get exposed to these things, they stay in my mind, right? And then it's up to me to go back later and just find out, what's this about? What is this Git thing? And sometimes I'll like follow through the workshops, and at some point, you just get stuck and you can't continue. But I'm like, at least I'm learning new things. And so my friend continued encouraging me to attend now events even outside like the school, and I'm like, okay, so Techiez even meet outside, I remember I went to Strathmore for a Python conference. I didn't even know what that was about, but I was just there, to learn. I learned new things. I remember just writing the first few lines of code in Python. I still have the picture in my head when I was in Strathmore, right? And then I learned about Deaf Fest, like, oh, Techiez actually come together. I'm like, oh my God, if I was just in my classroom, I wouldn't know that these things are happening out here. And I just really appreciated the fact that I had someone in the community just telling me about these things from the onset, right? And even now being a Google Developer Students Club lead, it's now also exposed me to a lot of information and also a lot of networks now, because the DSC program is like, it's a global program. So now I got the opportunity to also meet people from Nigeria, Ghana, like other leads in other countries, in other universities. So I don't just know about the University of Nairobi, but also other universities like in different countries, right? And so the more you connect with people, my network is growing, and I'm also gaining a lot of knowledge, because now if I'm building a community for people to learn Google technologies, I have to understand, I may not be ready yet to do a session or a technical workshop. So what I will do is I'll just note the people I have again in my networks, right? I will invite them. I remember back in the University of Nairobi, we had Harun Wangereka, who is now a GDE, Juma. They will just come and like, oh, people that want to learn Android, we have Android experts here, that they're going to teach you, web, the likes of Wayne. And so as I do this, as I bring experts to teach, I'm also learning in the process. So I didn't really shy away from doing this thing because, I'm not really ready. I don't have the technical expertise. I'm like just leveraging on the networks I have, so that at the end of the day, as my community is learning and growing, I'm also learning, right? And growing. And so while I was in this whole journey, and also in terms of the networks, we also got an opportunity to connect with the Googlers, running the program, the community program. We had our program manager was Awal, and we also had Aniedi. So seeing these people, and I'm like, okay. And I always say this, like, I think all the times I've talked about my journey, I don't fail to talk about the fact that just being able to see the work that these people do, and I'm like, I think this is something I will also want to do. And I think it just happens to the best of us. This is your program manager is managing a particular program, and you're like, I think, I'm interested in this path. And so I got to learn, there's a role called DevRel, developer relations. Yeah, there are people that do the code and things like that. And then there are those that, take out the time to educate people on different programs or products, go out, talk about, there's this product, this is how you can use it. There's this service, this is how you can, take advantage of it. I'm like, that's actually a role, and things like that. And I'm like, I think I would love that. I actually love talking, by the way. So I was like, this really interests me. And I'm like, this is something I would actually want to do in the future, maybe. Of course, I'm a computer science student, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do software engineer. I wanted to be an engineer and things like that. I'm like, this thing, I'll probably do it later on in my journey. But then, interestingly, as fate would have it, I think for me, as I speak about my journey, I'm beginning to realize that the fact that I'm an open-minded person just allows me to just, take on whatever comes my way. I don't have a fixed mindset of, I need to be this. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just an open-minded person. Like, okay, let me see where this life takes me, or if I do this, where does this lead me to? And just an opportunity to learn, right? So I finish uni, COVID period. We didn't even have a physical graduation and things like that. So I think at this point, you see, I keep growing in my networks. The people that I've known when I'm the GDSC club lead in my university. So we still maintain those conversations. I still have, the community of people that I came to meet, in these different events that I will go to, right? And just, seeing what people are doing. And then when I finished, when I graduated, so even before I graduated, so again, because of the fact that I would go to different events, and now I was not just known even in Kenya, but even outside, my network, because I remember there's a time I went to the open source festival in Nigeria in 2020, and I gave that was the first time I did like an international talk, and I was talking about Google crowdsource and open source, yeah. So that also, again, I'm like, I've never done this thing before, but let me try it. I got the opportunity to speak, and I spoke. And so as you do these things, people get to see the things that you're doing. And that's why I keep saying that it's not cliche when people tell you, put your work out there, like just let people know what you're good at, right? And so because of a connection I had, like someone that saw me at the conference, who is actually now my co-founder, right? He said, "Oh, Tabi," and we met when he was in Nairobi. Just had a conversation. I just talked about the things I do, and my current CEO now was like, "Okay, this is it. Would you be interested in this?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't really know what that is about, but I'm open to learning," right? And he said, "Okay, no problem. He goes back to his country, and then he tells me, like, "I think we would love to have you in the team." Like, they've just seen the type of person I am, and I don't know what exactly it was about me. But even before that, there's also the bit where I would go to events. I feel like on my weekends I was either somewhere, like attending a tech event or volunteering. Again, the fact that I didn't know certain things did not stop me from going. I just wanted to go there. And I also think this is something I learned from Kamilimu. I was also part of the Kamilimu program, where we were just connecting with other people from different universities. Dr. Chow just taking us through, the things that we're also not being taught in the classroom, like dealing with imposter syndrome, how to write essays, professional development, volunteering. So I will still, go out, volunteer at events. And so if in some way I feel like people will know that, oh, there's Tabby, because you go here you'll see Tabby, you go here you'll see Tabby, and things like that. And so I think my current boss, I don't know, I really don't know what exactly it is about me, but with that information already, I felt like, oh, this will be a good addition to our team, right? And I joined. Like I said, I was very honest about the fact that I really don't know what this is about. And I said, oh, I've not yet graduated. I will need to do an internship, right? So I said, I can kill two birds with one stone, learn what this company is doing, that this particular thing that I'm afraid of. Because there's that fear of when you just step out of school and you don't have to go to a professional setting, you just don't know what you're going to do. And you feel like, maybe these people think I'm so smart and I'm not really as smart as they think, imposter syndrome. Thankfully, because of Dr. Chow's teachings, I know that, this feeling usually comes, when you're about to step into a new territory, something that you don't know about, and you feel like, do I really have what it takes? I don't think I can do it, and sometimes some people just don't go for such opportunities, right? You stop yourself because of that imposter. But luckily for me, I knew what it was. I knew to look out for that self-doubt and feeling, you can't. So I just opened up myself to learning. So I did the internship for a while.
This is at, where was this at?
Talent QL.
Okay.
Yes.
Before we even get there, you mentioned that all through campus, your friends would kind of invite you, your friends influenced you in a sense to get into events. For someone who is just a regular university student, doesn't have many friends, and they're really keen on getting into community management, people, and events, how do they kind of step out of your shell? Because it seems that you had a lot of support in getting you out there. So how would they do it?
The interesting thing, it was just a case of, it was just one person, right? This lady, Mercy Kwambai, she just told me once, and the second time, and that's it. She didn't need to hold my hand every other time, I just told myself, I saw, the things that are happening because I'm a curious person. So I just made sure I show up, so find out, so basically what I will do, maybe find out from her what events are happening, so, and I just learned that sometimes you just need to be active, like in social media, not like active, you don't have to like tweet and talk, but just see what's going on, what events. And I feel like as of now, we have so many people that have built, how do I call them, platforms where you can check, what event is happening in this month and things like that. So things are even easier now, right? Sometimes, you just don't have to have a million people telling you to do one thing. You also just need to take that initiative on your own, right? Like you feel like, I just went to one event, I saw how the value of it, and I'm like, I think I want to continue growing, and I want to go to this event. I just want to see what people are learning, what people are saying, so that you're not shut out from the world, because we have cases where we have, let me use Techiez, right, or devs, right? You're building amazing stuff, but you also don't know what's happening. You know, there could be an update. You're just in your room and you don't know like what's going on. But you see, when you are intentional about, you know, getting updates, so that's when you join communities, right? So for whatever tech stack you're in, if I'm doing Python, let me find out which Python communities are available that I can plug myself into. And sometimes all you need to do is just find one community, right? And when you join one community, it becomes easier for you to know what's going on, right? Because you always have the organizers or even different members sharing resources, or just, oh, there's this event happening, you guys, if you want to attend, RSVP. So that's how we will get to know most about the things, right? Because even for the GDAC, there was a community, like a WhatsApp group. So you just get to know, oh, there's a dev fest happening, oh, there's Python what, or there's every week. I just knew that I had a plan like for almost every weekend.
Okay, what was your goal with these events? Because I know right now a lot of people go to these events because we've been sharing a lot of advice. Go to events, network. That's how you get that job.
Yeah.
So what was your what was your goal at that point? Was it to get a job, or
no?
The why?
So for me, mine wasn't getting a job, right? At first, it's just the learning, right? I think the first time I joined like the workshop in my university, and I saw the things that are being taught and not what is being taught in class. And I'm like, that means there's more out there. There's that exposure. So I was looking for that exposure, and also being able to connect with the larger community, just see what people are doing, you know. And when you go to this event, you now realize that you find experts, you find, you know, people that have done this thing before, you know. So an opportunity just to have an opportunity to interact or even network with such people, you get to learn a lot from them, you know. Sometimes, I mean, I might be going to an event because they are talking about something that is very important, but also the networks that you're going to find there, you know, someone can just guide you like, oh, you're starting out, this is what you do. So for me, I feel like I was very privileged, right? Because I would go for this event. So I would have people like, you know, telling you that, oh, this is what, oh, we were starting out. This is what we had to deal with, you know, this is what you need to have in mind. So like, I wasn't confused. I wasn't lost when I was starting out because I'd put myself out there. I went to have those connections and networks with people, and now you just get to learn from them in different ways, either listening to them give their talks or just after an event, just saying hi to somebody and things like that. So for me, it was mostly the learning bit and the networking, you know, just getting to learn from people out there, what goes on out there, you know, after I'm done with my school, what happens, so that I'm prepared. And I also need to know, what new things should I look out for? What else should I learn, and not expect that, oh, once I finish, it's just going to be easy. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so through that, your network led you to Talent QL. And here you worked as a talent recruiting associate. So this was far off from computer science.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes. So, I mentioned the fact that, you know, my boss felt like, oh, you'd be a good addition to the team. And back then we were focused on matching talent to different companies, right? And I was like, okay. Again, back to the point of me being an open person. I'm like, this is not to where I thought or expect to have been. But I'm like, I think this is a learning opportunity. This is how you grow, right? I'm not going to let this opportunity go and say, no, I want to be a software engineer, so I'm just going to take a software engineering job. This is different for different people. For me, I just said, I feel like there's a reason why this opportunity came my way, and I'm going to take it up, and I believe it's going to be like a stepping stone for the next place I want to go to. And I wasn't wrong. It was right. So it helped me get to the next point. So I learned recruiting things, you know, what it entailed. And again, because it deals with people, and you see, I'm a people person, you know, from my experience. So I was like, okay, it's just like helping fellow devs get jobs. You know, it's fine. So I got to learn a lot from my manager. I got to learn about talent sourcing and things like that, because I opened up my mind to actually learn this thing. And I figured it out. And I was so happy. I remember, because I was just like I was an intern, then I became an associate. And I remember I closed at a job, like I referred certain candidates. and the clients, actually accepted them and they got jobs. It actually felt so nice, being able to help someone. And that's impact, So even when I'm doing community stuff, it's because, you just want to impact people in different ways. And I know when we are young, you're always saying, I want to make an impact in the world. Sometimes I don't have to do like a grand thing, It's just the little things that you do. And I got a lot of fulfillment. So what really even helped me with my as recruiting associate job is the fact that I told myself that, I find a way to relate it to where I want to be, right? And I'm like, okay. At the end of the day, when I'm sourcing for this talent, there are people, so there may not be in a community, but in a sense, it's people. I'm finding ways to connect with people I know. So sometimes if there's a job, I can just tap into my networks and find out, who is a perfect fit. So I just found a way to just relate my job to that current job to where I want to be, and it became easier for me. And now, while I was in it, I still continue doing what I was doing, right? I'll volunteer for events, or I'll go and speak. When an opportunity comes for me to speak at an event, I would go there. And my manager would actually also see it, And so when now AltSchool came, because now AltSchool Africa came from Talent QL, when we now know, there's a lot of, there are a lot of opportunities out there, but you see the talent, getting the right people was a problem now, because for this particular job, there's an opening, but the people you're looking for, they're not really as qualified, And you're like, so how do we try to bridge that gap? We said, okay, let's start by training. We have so many people that finish the university 4 years or 5 years. You go out there, you're looking for a job, you're struggling, right? Maybe because, like I said, what you were taught at the university also did not prepare you for what is actually out there, And so, and then with AltSchool, they said, community manager. And so, they already know me. So they, Tad, would you be interested in this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll be interested. And when you actually think about it, I thought this is something I'm going to have to do later, like later on, like if I do DevRel. And even now when I think about it, and I'm like, I've always said I want to do DevRel like in 5 years or so. But now I'm realizing, community management is also actually part of, DevRel. There's the part where you're managing a community. There's the part where you're teaching, you're teaching people how to use a particular product of a particular company. Then there's the part where you're evangelizing. You're now doing talks in different parts, of the world, just telling people about this thing. And I'm like, I'm actually living that thing that it's just that the name is different. It's still part of it, And so it also helps the fact that I took time to also understand the role that I want to get into. I understood what DevRel is about, and I started, seeing I don't even have to wait for a job, how do I do it, And even when I was doing the contract for the Google contract for crowdsource, this is a product that I was using just my leisure time, I knew that, if I do this, I'm helping Google AI models, just to get better understanding of our local context. And I now started speaking about it, because I remember I read, if you want to do this, just start speaking about that thing you enjoy, speak about it, let people know about this. But I started doing it. And so the team will actually say that, Tabi is actually making efforts, So the opportunity came, they reached out to me, we're looking for a community coordinator in Kenya for a short period of time. Would you be interested? I mean, I was the only person they could actually even think of, because I've been doing this for a long time. Nobody was paying me to do it, and now all of a sudden, so I took time to understand this role, and I just figured, what can I do just to, when people talk about positioning yourself for that job you want to do, there are things you can start doing on your own even before the job comes, so just put in the work in different capacities, and that's why I say I look back and I'm like, this community job I'm doing at AltSchool Africa now, I'm able to do it because, back then when I was in school, I was already managing communities, I would moderate sessions, and these are some of the things I do in my job like every day. So, yeah.
Now, Tabitha, Talent QL, how much are you earning?
How much
Your
is that?
First row.
I was an intern, right? When I was an intern, I was getting 20K.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And for me, that was a big thing. And I'm like, hey, okay. I mean, I'm coming from a place, I just finished school, right? And then now, this is an opportunity. I'm not staying in my own place, right? And I'm like, I'm getting money at the end of the day. And I'm like,
people get jobs. Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I was learning. So I was like, okay, that's fine.
Nice.
And I know that there's also that perception sometimes. Oh, when you want to start it big. I need to get those 6 figures and things like that. And I'm like, this is how I'm building, myself to get there. So it's fine. I didn't let it pass me by because I didn't even think that this is too small. I'm like, let me to get this experience. It's fine. So yeah.
With the 3 roles, Talent QL and Crowdsource by Google, tell us a bit about how you got it. It's all been them reaching out to you, correct?
Yes.
Interesting. And would you directly link that to you putting yourself out there?
Yes. Because I'm when in the DSC program, my program manager, Awal, he will tell me that Abby, keep doing what you're doing, right? Like the stuff you're doing, don't think that nobody's noticing. Someone is always watching, right? So do not be discouraged or feel like I'm putting too much, I'm saying a lot. So I think when I was starting my journey, I will do, even when I was coding, I will do like 100 days of code. I will make sure I'm posting, and this is what I'm doing, right? When I talk about crowdsource summer, if I write an article, I'm sharing it out there, So if you search, you'd actually find that I wrote an article, or I went somewhere. I challenged myself to talk about crowdsource in Nigeria, and so I would say putting the work out there, it helped, because how are people going to reach out to you if they don't know that you're actually able to do it, So it's hard. It's easy for me. Maybe I'm an employer, right? It's easy for me to pick out someone, like reach out to someone because I know that, they have done this, or maybe someone recommends them, So I'm pretty sure it, not only because I was putting myself out there, I'm pretty sure that there are people that also recommended me, even either inside Google or whatever. They just said, Tabby actually does this thing, maybe it should be a good fit. So recommendations, but you see, I can only recommend you if I know the things that you are doing, so that's why it really helps. I know that there's a case of, I'm an introvert, I don't know, but you don't even need to tell the whole world, sometimes you can just tell your friend. If I tell you that this is what I do, the next time you're in a room where someone is looking for a community manager, you will think about me, right? So that's how I think that's how it actually works mostly for in tech. But there's also the bit where people, of course, you have to apply for jobs. But I saw on demo the other day just talking about the fact that, he's referred different people. They didn't even have to go through the entire interview process, because I know this person is good, I recommend them. And because they believe, Tabby can't recommend or demo cannot recommend, and that's how most people actually get jobs. So it really pays. It's really important that people know, or even one person knows what you're actually building. Do not build in silence. Let's see what you're capable of doing for us to be able to recommend you. Yeah.
And when you're talking about putting yourself out there practically, this means going to events, putting yourself online. If you were to compare the two, me going for events every week versus me putting my work online, someone should be asking or could be asking, which one has better results? What should I focus on?
I don't have the perfect
Based on your experience.
I don't have the perfect answer to that. But I like the fact that you actually even asked me what was my goal when I was going to this event. So I think it's also very important when you're going to this event, what exactly are you going to do? Sometimes you might be the one person that's going to event, but you're not actually getting much out of that event. You're just going for the sake of statistics. I've gone to 20 events. This, I'm sure we have people like that. Like, I want to see Tabby is in this, but what exactly are you also getting out of there? Sometimes I can go to an event, I may not know exactly what happened, but I might have found one person that I talked to and they've changed my life, So it's also very important, not just going for events, why am I even going for that event, right? I'm a Python person and I'm going to a React event. What am I going to do in that React event, If I'm not going to learn React, at least let the reason that I'm going be that, okay, maybe I'm going to meet someone, or maybe I'm looking to start writing in React, maybe Python is, So you just don't go for the sake of going. you need to have like that goal in mind, your why you're doing it, so that it helps you make sure that you're getting the most out of it, right? So you don't always have to go to all this. Sometimes I can just go for one event and I get what I need. I may meet one person and that person becomes my friend or my mentor, and you start having conversation with this person. This person, guys, like I said, you don't have to have a million people backing you up. Sometimes it's just one or two people that you met, and you guys just decide, I'm getting on this journey. I would really love your support and things. I know, like, the mentor conversation is like, it's something that people are always asking, do I really need to have? Yeah. It's a good to have, and sometimes there are people that are willing to mentor, and there are people that also, they are busy. And I feel like sometimes beginners have this expectation, if Tabby is my mentor, I'm expecting Tabby to always check out for me. I'm busy, So the mentees also need to realize that they need to put in the work, And first of all, when you're reaching out to me to be your mentor, do you even have an understanding of what you want to do, right? You don't have to make your mentor go through the work of always checking on you, or I think you should be the one actually, reaching out to your mentor, and you don't even have to talk almost every day. You guys can agree, I like you to mentor me on this. I know you have a busy schedule, but maybe we could meet once a month, or I think 2 weeks it depends on your mentor's availability. But you can just say, let's meet at this particular point, and when we are meeting, I'm going to show you my progress. At the end of the day, you see, it's something that it shows that you have a direction. There are people that just want mentors, and they really don't know like what they are doing. I mean, your mentor could guide you, but they're not going to hold your hand every other time. Do you understand? And that is why it also helps to just grow with your own people, right? So I'm learning this. Let's do this together. I might have a mentor, but see, when you and I are learning, we can be accountability partners, So maybe you might be one step ahead. You learn something, you just tell me, when you're growing with someone that you're on the same level with, it becomes easier for you to just, grow together, and you can reach out to them like almost every single day. But you see, you don't have that level of access with a mentor, someone that is working. They can always be there to offer that guidance. I know that for mentors and people that's why people don't like to commit, because there are people that expect, every day I need to have a call with you. Why am I having a call with you every single day? So it's good to have a mentor if you have one, but also don't ignore that, that friend of yours that is also learning, and like, you can't help me. No, you guys, your friend can actually help you a long way, because all of you are figuring this thing out. So it becomes easier for you to grow together. And now you guys can even get one person that just guides you, like, okay, are you on the right track? Are you not? And things like that. So,
okay. Yeah. So, crowdsource by Google, was that when things really shifted for you, or when was it that you're like, wow, okay, now I'm starting to see this is really paying off?
Oh no, I think things really shifted the moment I was actually asked if I want to take the AltSchool job. I'm like, okay, all right. Because like I told you, I thought I'm going to do this thing later, like community management, because it's a non-technical role. So I thought, maybe like most several guys, like you've done engineering for years, and then now I want to start talking about this thing and blah blah blah. And then, but interestingly, it just came like, okay. Wow, I know I was shocked. I'm like, okay, I didn't think I'll be doing this thing as early as now. Till today, I'm always saying that, oh wow, like what are the odds? Like, hey, okay. So and I'm like, I didn't apply for it, And you see, this job was not connected to the fact that I accepted to do this internship with Talent Q. Now it's like the same company, and so that's when I knew that, it's actually like paying off. And even now with the crowdsource opportunity at the time, I was like, okay, like who would have thought? Like I didn't even think they would even want to look for someone in Kenya, and it just came out of nowhere, and I was like, okay. Again, so that is also a testament of, the things you're doing, people are watching, and yeah, so.
So I want to talk about, still on crowdsource by Google. Google is a big company, so I'm sure a lot of the people watching us are like, how did you get it? How was it? How was that experience? But I'm very keen on, as a community coordinator, what exactly is your day-to-day? What are your primary roles for those who are interested in such a role?
Okay, so just to clarify, the crowdsource role was a contract role,
Yeah.
so that means I wasn't working full time at Google.
Ah,
Yeah, I wasn't working
okay.
full time. It's just that by contract, meaning that maybe we want to do this particular thing in this country for this particular period. We have certain goals, so we are looking for people to just help us, do this. So I mean, it gave me an opportunity to interact with Googlers in Kenya, of course, but I just wanted to clarify that it wasn't like I was like working like full time. No. I was, but it was like a contract role. Like it was very clear that this is for a particular period of time. We just want to do this right in Kenya. We want to get more contributions from the Kenyan perspective, and we just need someone. So basically, just by coordinating means talking more about the product, getting more participants, getting more people to adopt the product. So that means I'll do a lot of speaking at events. I will travel a lot at that time, just speaking about crowdsource and things like that, and then just getting a set of people that also help me, like talk about crowdsourcing in the different universities, right? So it's like a full circle moment, like at one point I was a GDSC lead in the university, I'm doing this, and I'm also working with other people in university just to get people to know about this product and just get them to contribute. So it was just basically like getting their own perspectives, to data that would train machine learning models, at Google, so that at the end of the day, Google is building products that, serve everyone, and just getting more of a local African context. Yeah. And just like I said, how I got it is I got to learn about these products, or crowdsource was like a product by Google. It was just like a fun thing. I would just contribute, right? I don't know, I got busy, I stopped contributing. But it's something I still think about till today, right? So I just knew about this product. And I know at the time I was learning about DevRel. I knew that, sometimes if you find one product that you actually enjoy and start talking about it. So I would write articles, why are we even contributing to Google Crowd? So it's like, what is the significance of our work, right? And then I'll also use the opportunity that I'm a DSC lead in the University of Nairobi to do sessions and talk about it, Like I said, I went to Lagos in the open source festival. Let me talk about this product. Just find a way of, okay, how do you relate this to open source and talk about it, So I kept on doing most of that. And I know there's a time I was like, I don't see many Kenyans, doing this. Like this is something that I enjoy doing. And I feel like it would be nice to have more Kenyans so we can bring our own perspective, And I tried, like bringing people together, like trying to build a community, crowdsource. Things got busy at some point, but then this is something I still had in mind, And then one day, one of the program managers or that leads that product, just reach out and say, Tabi, we're looking for, do you know? And I'm like, here I am, So
Okay.
And that's how I got in. I didn't have to go a lot of stress, I just they already knew me, so they knew about my contribution, just a chat, and I'm like, you're ready to start, And I did, and I was happy that I actually got to do it. I was happy to see that, the things I was doing, somebody actually saw it and felt like, okay, do it. And then I wasn't being paid before, and at some point now, this was like my role at a particular point in my life, and I enjoyed the experience.
How much were you paid? Can you share with us the salary at that point, moving from 20K?
I don't think that's something I can say.
So, no.
Yes, but
A range? Are you able to share a range? I'll try and push, guys, as usual.
Range.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I can't even remember how much I was. It's a while back.
So much money. You don't
No.
remember.
I'm trying to see if I'm removing the tax or not.
Okay. You can give a big range.
But I know, but it was around like 400 K, but that's, and then with all this tax thing and
okay. That's really good.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, like what? I was like, what?
Community coordinators looking to work in big tech.
It is. So again, the role varies, right? So for example, in this crowdsource context, it wasn't community manager. They're just coordinating, like how do you just bring many people together to know about this product. And I think even aside the money, I just enjoyed the fact that it also gave me an opportunity to go to different places. And I know people would see me traveling, and I know people still see and say, yeah, Tabi, she has money. And I'm like, it was my job, you know, that my job was taking me to those different places. I'm not going there to have vacations. I'm just going to talk about these particular products, right? And then it also just, again, everywhere I go, my network is growing now, you know. And the beauty about communities now is that I remember that if I would travel to Ethiopia or Burundi or Dar es Salaam, like I already have people that even know me there. So I wasn't even stranded. I didn't have it felt like, oh, your community is actually really paying off because you already know these people in different ways, you know, and they just make things easier for you. And yeah, it was a nice time.
Chop money. All right.
Yes.
So now, AltSchool, your big break, you got it again through your networks. I'd really be keen on helping the young techies understand what a day in the life of a community manager looks like. What should I expect if I'm good with people, I want to do what Tabi is doing. What should I expect?
Okay. So I like to just explain community management in a simple way that you'll understand. And that is, when I say I'm a community manager, what I mean is I'm the link between this company and their users, right? So I don't know what example. Okay, let me just use the AltSchool example.
Yeah.
So AltSchool is the company. They are providing a service, which is, you know, education, like training people. So the users are people that are looking to learn, right? So there's also the company, and these are the people that are interested in this particular program that AltSchool Africa is offering. So I'm now the link between the business and the users, right? And of course, you know, in the AltSchool context, these users are here to learn. They are here to learn for 1 year because AltSchool Africa is a 1-year program, right? So they're here to learn. That means they need that humanness to the brand, you know. So that's where I come in. I bring that, people in AltSchool, the learners here feel supported. They have someone in the company that they can, you know, reach out to if they have any feedback, if there's any communication. So it's like a two-way thing, you know. So anything that AltSchool is doing, I get to inform, you know, our learners, and whatever is going on in the community. I'm taking care of them because they're here for a 1-year program, you know. So, you know, like with every online thing, I'm pretty sure like most of us have online courses that we've signed up for, we've never finished, right? And so for us, community is like that one thing we decided to invest on, you know, so that there's a form of accountability. We have so many people that are coming on board to learn this particular tech skill. We don't want to have churn. We don't want to have people like dropping out. So how do we ensure that people stay on course for 1 year, right? So that's where like the community aspect came in. So there's the need to manage a community of people, you know, that are here to learn, making sure that they are onboarded to our platforms, you know, making sure they are supported, and just, you know, engaging them in different ways. Again, you see the things I was doing events, so now I get to conduct different events in AltSchool Africa, and I even leverage my networks, the people I know, maybe just to come and have sessions, just to help them grow their careers, to complement what they're even learning at the end of the day. So it varies in different companies, right? For some companies, it's just maybe we have this product, we just want to have people that give us feedback on how we can better. Maybe it's an app that you're building, you know, you have your users, so you create a community around your users. So someone that's just going to, you know, connect with your users and gather feedback from them. What are they saying? Do they think that, oh, you can do this in a better way and things like that? So that's the simplest way I would say I would describe community management. Like, you're just the link between the company and the business. So depending on whatever the business is about, it's going to differ, right? Someone that may want to be a community manager in a different company, they may not do the things that I do, but the core of it is that you get to manage the users around a particular product or service being offered by a company, and it's more building relationships, you know, getting loyalty, satisfaction, because now when people are happy about your product, it's you know, you're getting that product market fit, right? So yeah, so that's the easy way to describe, you know, what I do. And the misconception, and sometimes there's that it's not, it's a new field, it depends. So there are companies that they need to have community, so they hire for community managers, and there are those that really don't need. That's why I think even here in Kenya it's not like a big thing. It's more of, most of the communities I see here, it's mostly, this communities by Microsoft community or the Google community, and you have the organizers, people that are just helping, just create. So now let me use an example of now GDG, right? So GDG is like a global program, right? But now we have communities now in different parts of Africa, right? And so we have the organizers or leaders of this community that just bring these people together in this particular, they nurture them. So if there's any updates, about a Google technology, Flutter, Android, they get to do this. And that's why even events like DevFest exist, or Google I/O. So these are the updates, these are resources you can take advantage of to learn. So building a community around, a particular product or different products at the end of the day. So that's what just community is about. So there's the voluntary one, like, these programs that we have in the university, like the GDG on campus or the GDG. Nobody's paying anyone to do those jobs. It's a voluntary role, right? But now the professional community aspect now is like, there's a company, they want to invest in community, they want to hire, and now that's why for me I'm a community manager at AltSchool Africa, right? Now there are people that confuse community management with social media management. Yes. So you might see most jobs they'll say community manager, but they're looking for social media management. But now there are two different things. Social media, you're engaging an external audience, right? But you see community is more specific, like you already have your users, them, these are the people interested in using this product. How do I build relationships amongst them? How do I get feedback from them? How do I just make lives better, or how do we make this product better for them? So there's always a difference, and people that confuse it, maybe because again there's really not much information to just clarify. Yes. But those of us who know, I know that I may not be good. I'm a good community manager, I'd say, but I may not be a good social media manager. I may not know how do I appeal to an external audience. Community manager is more specifically to you have this user, how do we build relationships among them and connections? So yeah.
Okay. So take me through briefly a day in the life, a busy day for you, so that I understand the role. What does that look like? Do I speak to the community every day? What does a day in the life look like?
Yeah. So for me, let's say when I wake up, right? Let me use this particular point in time. For us, it's a training program, so people are here to learn, right? So I can't say that I choose the days I talk to the community or not. So every day, because I'm meant to be the support, for the community. There's a support team, of course, but part of community involves a lot of support, right? You're just helping people, use your product better, And for us, there are different platforms that we have. So for now, we have a cohort that just started, right, this November. So I have busy days now, because now thousands of people have come in. They need to be onboarded to this. There's a team that onboards them. But you see, the experience is always different from in their person. So you see this person has been able to log in. Things are easier for them. But this other person, they have an error or something of the sort. So now being able to just, take note of their issues so that they're not frustrated, because it's easy for them to be frustrated. And if your user is frustrated, they might decide to leave, right? So just making sure that now the support part of my job is really now taking, it's what is consuming most of my time, because it's the early days, people just started. So there's a lot of support work. I have this, I can't, what do I do about this? And then it also involves me working a lot with these different teams, right? Again, because I said it's the link between the business and the users, right? So when on the company side, there are different teams that I have to work on. So if someone gives feedback about this particular thing, maybe I need to talk to the engineering team, or I need to talk to the marketing team. Maybe we can do better in creating more awareness and things like that, or communication and things like that, or maybe the learning team, right? Okay, this is what people are saying, or there's a problem here. How do we solve it, or how do we make the experience better? So from the company side, it involves working a lot with different teams, or this is what is happening, what can we do about it, and things like that, and now also the users. So now that's where the support bit comes in, doing a lot of, just helping people, making sure that, things are working for them. Because I don't want to see angry faces. And so we are we're like on Slack, and I'm just seeing so many people like tagging me because, oh, tag me this, because like you're the only person now that they know they can reach out to for this particular thing. But then when all those things died down, so in a case where maybe it's not on like this onboarding period, right? There's always you wake up, so how can you help your community? So apart from the fact that they're learning, how do I engage them? So there's the issue of engagement, right? So because when you're growing a community, engagement is a key aspect. You just don't bring people together in one place and leave them, right? So you have to engage them. So you have to think of different ways. How do I engage them? And engaging them also means thinking about the content that makes sense to your users. What content will they enjoy, or what topics interest them, just finding ways to start off discussions, so that they're also getting value. They're not just in a place where, it's just one thing that is going on, but making sure that they are getting value from themselves and even from the company, like maybe through what we are offering, the programs, but even as you guys are in a group, how are you guys finding value? So just different ways of engaging them. So that involves doing events from time to time, just online events, or just sharing resources. So basically, every time I'm just when I meet something, when I'm online, and I see a resource, and I'm like, this will be useful to my community members, because I know this is what they're here for. So constantly, I'm thinking, what can I do to make their lives easier, or even help them in their careers? They came here to grow their careers. So in my own way, as a community person, so basically, you're like their mother, their children. So what can I do to make the life of my child better, or what can I do to help them grow? They already have these skills, but what additional skills can I add for them? So that's what I'm constantly thinking about every day, and then once that comes to my mind, share with them. That way I know they're getting value.
I see. I know your favorite thing about what you do is you get to interact with people. What is the thing you least like about community management? You like least? Yeah.
I think it's the stress that comes with it. It looks like easy, or maybe I do a good job making it look like an easy thing, Tabi is thriving, but it's not. Managing people is not easy. So there's always there's the burden of just having to bear everyone's problems, and so there'll be negative comments, someone saying this, and I know that this is not intentional, we're not intentionally, because a user is a user, something goes wrong and someone is just shouting, like, why, it makes me feel so bad. I'm like, no, this is not what is happening. I can't tell you, but I just wish, you understand, so there's that. And it's normal. So I've just learned to understand that it's okay. When I was starting out, I was very concerned about how every person is feeling. And it felt like I'm just taking everybody's problems, and I'm now worried. I'm even now rushing different members of my team. Let's make this better, and things like that. But I just realized that you cannot solve everyone's problems, So sometimes you just tackle things from a general point. If I do this, many people are not going to have this issue. So that bit of things not working, to some extent, I feel like I like to excellent work. I'm an excellent kid. So when I see such things, and I'm like, no, don't feel bad. I don't want you to feel. I want you to know that I'm here. Like things are going to be smooth for you. So when things don't go that way, I start feeling, oh my God, I failed my people. I let them down. This is not what they came here for. This is what they're saying, and but every day we just work to make things better.
I'll take a little tangent here, and we're almost concluding now. Where do you think that came from? Where you want to ensure everyone is okay? Where do you think that comes from?
I've never thought about this, but now that you're asking me, maybe because I'm a firstborn. Because I always like to say it came from when I was the DSC lead in the University of Nairobi. I just wanted to help out, just help things and manage. I don't know this thing, but okay, all of us don't know, but let's figure it out. But now, on a deeper look, maybe because I'm a firstborn, and firstborns, we just want to take care of things. I used to taking care of people, and I don't know if that's correct, but I think that it has a role, You want everyone to be fine. You want things to work out, and things like that. So.
Okay. So tell me, what has been the most difficult moment in your career so far?
Difficult moment in my career. Let me think. Difficult. Difficult, like a hard thing. Okay. When I think of difficult, I don't know if it's, I mean, there's the daily, sometimes when you're doing your job and, the bad days, right? I don't know if I would say that is difficult because that's going to always happen, right? So there's that bit. So I don't know. I think I'm happy that I'm doing a job that I enjoy. So even when I have challenges, I don't see it as a major setback. I'm like, this is normal. That's fine. So I think I'm lucky on that side. That I do something that I generally enjoy doing, right? So whether I'm tired or whether things fall apart, I'm like, I still wake up to do it the next day, right? And the fact that I also always show up. So I may not have the strength, I might not feel like it, but I'm still going to show up because it's what I enjoy doing. But I think this is not like a difficult thing. I mean, all these things are subjective. But I've had those moments where I feel like maybe I should do something more. Like, is this finally it? Like, am I finally where I want to be? So I'm always feeling like maybe I should do. Is there something else I can do? Or I feel like there's so much I can give, out there, And so I find myself having those difficult conversations with myself, and I'm like, Tabi, are you comfortable where you are? And I feel like, people say don't be in your comfort zone. So sometimes I feel like my job is my comfort zone, and I'm like, because you enjoy doing this thing, and I'm like, I want a challenge, I want something else that, But I mean, the good thing with working in a startup, there's always like a challenge, yeah. But sometimes now when I remove the job, I feel like maybe I should be doing. And sometimes I'm not going to lie. I'm always telling myself, I was to do software engineering. Like I was a computer science student, so I'm always asking myself that did I, like is it too late? And sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I'm going back to code. But then the work is a lot. Like, no job is easy. So even community management is overwhelming. I want to rest anytime I have, I don't want to go back to, sometimes I'm like, this coding thing, do I really have to go back to it? Do I? And then I'm thinking of, I should start afresh. No, So I think I feel like I want to be challenged, right? And I think most of us have this thing where you're feeling like, am I finally where I want to be, or maybe there's more out there for me that I can do. And so in that more, and that's why I was talking to you earlier, I feel like, so what other thing can I do, right? So what other skills can I add on to that? So how I am dealing with that is I'm actually taking on more skills. So while I'm still doing my job, I'm not just comfortable. I'm learning new things. Like, if I want to do product, let me what product resource can I find, or just adding skills that I feel like these things will come in handy. They will not only come in handy now in my job, but also elsewhere. Maybe when the time comes for me to transition or an opportunity comes, I am ready for it. Yeah, so that's how I am tackling it. But sometimes I'm still like, but why do you want to do that? You're already doing well in this thing. Because I've always been a believer, and when I was in school, they always said, just find that thing that you're good at and be good at it. And I feel like I found my thing that was community, and I have no problem with it. Like I found it, I know I'm good at it, and I'm even at a place where I feel like I can even talk to other community managers just to guide them in this journey, right? But then I'm like, okay, maybe is it time to do something else? But then sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do something else. I just want to add on to what I have. So it's a phase I'm currently dealing with. I don't know, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
I see. So even everyone has questions about their journey. So Tabi, I'd like you to conclude for us with what you would say to your younger self, and also a word for techies. So start with your younger self. The excellent student.
What would I tell? I feel like the excellent student was more focused than me right now. But I'll just tell her to keep doing what she's doing. Just focus on your why. Why exactly am I doing what I'm doing? Just being clear on the direction you want to take, and do everything it takes to actually get there, right? And I'm also still happy that I got to learn this, and I'm still working on it, So my younger self, just keep doing amazing stuff. Do not let obstacles, or challenges just stop you from, pushing yourself. Like there's so much more, and that's why I even tell myself, maybe my younger self is what is telling me that maybe there's more you can still do, just don't settle, never settle, right? But then what I would tell other people, I was thinking about this. There's so many things I could say. I mean, I like to tell people, find one thing that you're good at and, just excel at it. It becomes easier for you to take on, like maybe like it's a programming language, right? If I want to learn JavaScript, I was doing JavaScript. I coded it. People say that it's hard, but I was like, yeah, that's what I want, Just find that one language, focus on it, and, and I usually see people talking about, oh, which language is better than the others? Approach them in a way like, oh, what can help me build this particular thing that I want to build, you understand? So find that one thing, focus on it, find your niche, do your research first, especially for people that are getting into tech, because there's so many things you can do out there, and not everyone has to go into to do software engineering, There are so many things. So all you need to do is do your research, find out, what are the things based on my values and my strengths, what career can I take up? Do I want to do data analysis? Do I want to do customer support? Do I want to do marketing? Do I want, don't box yourself to thinking that, oh, it's this one. That's what I will even tell my younger self, don't box yourself to one way of doing things, right? So just do your research, figure out what you want to do, and once you know what you want to do, now start taking the steps you need to do. Do you need to take a course? Do you need to find someone that is doing the same thing as you? Just put in the work. That's the last thing I would say. Put in the work. Like, all these things just don't come from nowhere. You don't wake up one day and you're a successful software engineer or you're a successful community manager or so. You have to, there's no cheat code. You have to put in the work. And putting in the work is not just going to events, building your craft. Now, I'm just saying as an example, like you said, because I know I said, go to the event, but as you're going for this event, make sure you know what value you're getting there. When you're back home, know your stuff. There are people that just talk and they don't have the skills. So don't be that person that is all talk and you have no skill to show yourself, because at the end of the day, what people are looking at for is a skill, right? So take out your time, build yourself, get that skill. And that is what putting in the work means. And sometimes once you're done with that, now go out there, meet people, people that are doing similar things that you, position yourself for those opportunities, try out, apply. I know I have not been applying for jobs, like they came, but still apply, and I think Joma was here and he will talk about the fact that, sometimes just apply to get the experience. What are they looking out for? What extra thing do I need to learn, so that I'm qualified for this thing? So sometimes let the job not come when you're not prepared, so start checking those job descriptions, what are they asking for, and then go back, if you need to learn, do not let imposter syndrome. I know people say that there's a difference. There are people that don't have imposter syndrome. You just don't have the skill, But if you have the skill, do not let imposter syndrome stopping you from applying stuff or taking opportunities. Just be unapologetic. Just give the world your best, the best you can be. I don't feel like people are going to say, no, you're doing this for you. So be very intentional about your growth. Right. And that way, when you're intentional, it becomes easier for you to be very strategic about everything you're doing, the type of events you're going to, the type of content you're consuming, the type of people that you're meeting with, the type of jobs you're looking for. And before you know it, you find yourself in the right circles and you find yourself in the job you're looking out for. Right? Yeah.
Drops mic. Wow. That was a powerful ending. Thank you, Tabitha.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you. Tulikupea flowers mapema.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, let's bring her flowers.
Thank you.
Abigail.
Thank you.
Tabitha. We really appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you.